Hey guys, welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is the daily show. I'm your host Khalid Mohidin, and this is the live call in where we're going to be talking about all the major talking points in South African cricket, but specifically we're going to talk about the IPL. And we've got a jam-packed show for you today. Obviously, you know, all of you guys out there can call in. The link is in the description of this video, so you can come have a talk with us, and we have some guests on the show as well. With Abai, he's going to introduce us to them later. But as you know, how we start the show normally is we give a quick review, because this is a review of everything that happened in the last week in the IPL. So obviously, as per usual, I'm going to get my three musketeers on the screen, and let's just have a conversation about this. Let's bring Aditya to the stream. How's it, Aditya and Abai?
How's it going?
How you guys doing, man?
Oh, we're doing pretty well. It's a cooler day, so I decided to layer up today. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on, man. Very excited about the show.
Yeah, of course.
As per usual, we're going to do the normal review of what happened with regards to South Africans in the IPL, because obviously we know that this week it wasn't a great week for South Africans necessarily. It was usually the batsman that was standing out, and with obviously we know Anrich Nokia and Kagiso Rabada as well doing amazing things. But this last week, it hasn't been really a great one for the other South Africans that we were waiting to obviously put their hands up, etc. But as we saw today, Anrich again on the money, taking a big wicket as per usual. He's made it quite a habit to take the big wickets in South African cricket in general, in world cricket now.
Absolutely.
I mean, one of his first major wickets was actually Virat Kohli in the Test series. So he's done that a couple of times. I mean, AB de Villiers in this tournament as well. He's always has a knack for taking the big wickets in major tournaments. But Aditya, let's start with your review. Just give us an insight into what has happened in the last week.
So this week has been about appreciating the South African bowlers. And the real standout game this week has been the Delhi Capitals versus the Royal Challengers Bangalore, in which the Delhi Capitals batted first and made 196 in 20 overs on the back of Marcus Stoinis' 53 of 24 balls and Prithvi Shaw's 42 of 23 balls. In response, RCB just crumbled, and they really had to labor through to score 137 for 9, and it was all thanks to some fantastic bowling from KG Rabada and Anrich Nokia. KG, in 4 overs, he took 4 wickets and gave away just 24 runs. Anrich Nokia, 4 overs, 22 runs, 2 wickets. Outstanding figures. And they've been touted by a lot of the cricket pundits out there as the best bowlers this IPL. Mm-hmm. And true to it, they put on a phenomenal show. They've been amazing. And as you said, today also, Anrich took the big wickets, and KG has been good too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they're at the top of the standings at the moment, both with the purple cap. I think I don't know if they're equal, but at the moment they going head to head at the moment at the top. It's quite surprising because Anrich Nokia obviously came in as a replacement, and then he's doing what he's doing. I didn't really like what KP said. He's like, oh, he was so surprised about it. I'm like, don't talk nonsense. You know what Anrich Nokia can bring. So I was like, he's always saying things. I'm not a big fan of necessarily of KP's commentary, but I don't think there's not a lot of people out there that believe that, but that like him. But okay, but it's gonna be one of those type of things. Each one to their own. Yeah. To the guys that have tuned in now, the stream link is in the description if you want to come have a call on the show. Abai, just give your favorite moments with regards to obviously South Africans, and then you can introduce the guests that you've organized for the show.
All right. So my favorite moments regarding the South Africans. Pretty easy answer. It would have to be today's game. KG doing what he normally does, and then Anrich Nokia, again, impressive stuff from him. And I think it's just a testament to his talent and the fact that he has what it takes to succeed at the highest level. So big kudos to both of them. I was hoping David Miller would get a game today for Rajasthan. too bad he didn't, but I hope to see him later in the IPL. And my least favorite moment, and I'm going to leave it right here, is RCB losing to Delhi. It was complete torture to watch, and that's the most I'm going to say about it.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna pull back again and stop supporting again because every single year I get disappointed by RCB. Like I mean, geez, it's been a long roller coaster ride with him. Aditya, it doesn't get old, eh? Listening to American accent talk about cricket, eh? It's like it's never gets old.
Never. Never.
Abai, introduce your guest for me, man.
All right, so I have two guys coming over today. First one is Canada under-19 player, superb talented left-handed batsman. His name is Benjamin Khalidz. So welcome to the show, Ben. How are you
Hi
doing?
guys.
How's it, man?
All good this side, thank you.
Okay, cool, awesome. So I see you have a support to stop on. Nice.
No, this is actually a playing shirt that I got.
No, I'm just trying to pull your leg. So whose shirt is it?
PS Chopra. Let me quickly turn around for you guys.
Yeah, nice.
That is blooming
Yeah.
awesome. When did you receive it?
I was on a tour with the Canadian men's team, and the coaching staff came from Rajasthan, so they had lots of shirts, Archer shirt, Butler shirt, so they gave me this one.
Oh, that's awesome. So did you get
Yes.
to chat to any of the guys, and how was that experience like?
That was amazing. The head coach was at that time was Monty Desai, and I think he's West Indies batting coach right now. So that was also an amazing experience chatting to those guys about the IPL and the players there.
That's awesome. Okay, Abai, can you do the next guest for us?
All right, we have one more guest coming over. He plays for Kenya. Everyone, please welcome Gagandeep Singh. So come on over.
Welcome to the show.
All right, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you doing, Abby? Thank you for having me on your show.
Yeah,
of
no
course.
problem. Okay, so let me start with the first few questions. Generally speaking, what we're going to do in this particular episode is we're going to talk about the next draft, basically. So we're going to kind of write the season off, not write it off, but like ignore what happened this season so far and look to the future, because I feel like when it comes to South Africans, a lot of them are coming to the end of their careers at the moment. So a lot of them are actually haven't been really getting much game time in this tournament. So we're talking about the likes of Chris Morris, who was obviously injured and didn't really get a chance, and then the likes of Imran Tahir, David Miller not really stepping up to the plate, of course. And there's not a South African in every single team. So we're hoping that obviously there's going to be more in the future. But I believe that there's a lot of talent in South Africa that can maybe take that step up. And I don't know if you guys have been keeping an eye out on the Mzansi Super League and the talent in South Africa. But maybe we can pick a few guys. You guys can have some time to think about that. But let's start with Aditya. Is there anything about specific that you think can really help one of the IPL sides and could be a surprise bargain or be thrown in the draft?
There are plenty. In fact, I've made a list of players that could fit into the Chennai Super Kings setup, because they're going to have to. So they're going to have to sort of, almost get like 7 or 8 new players, because the senior pros, Shane Watson, Faf du Plessis, Dwayne Bravo, Imran Tahir, may not play in future IPLs. We don't know what the think tank is thinking, but I think if you're talking about top order, and we have to know that like the Chennai Super Kings culture, generally they tend to value versatile, adaptable, smart cricketers, experienced cricketers. They value that sort of stuff. And I think if you're talking about filling the Chennai Super Kings top order, I think Aiden Markram can be a valuable addition to the team. Yaneman Malan can be a valuable addition to the team. In the middle order, Rasi can do a great job. And if you're talking about all-rounders, I think Andile Pekukwayo has all the makings of a replacement for Dwayne Bravo. So I think South Africans can pretty much form like the 4 overseas players for, and they already have Lungi. So they can have 4 South African overseas players. And I think if there's one player that would be a surprise pick for me, it would be Zubair Hamza, because He's been appointed captain of the Cape Cobras, and sure, he didn't get an MSL contract last year, but he averages 47.1 in. He averaged almost 48 in first-class cricket, and Chennai Super Kings is probably the only team in the IPL that has had a sheet anchor, throughout their 13 years in the IPL. It started off with Michael Hussey playing that role in the first 4 or 5 years. Faf du Plessis was picked in the auction as a replacement for Mike Hussey. So when Mike Hussey went to Mumbai and then eventually retired from cricket, Faf du Plessis played his role. From the Indian point of view, they had Subramaniam Badrinath, who played the role of sheet anchor. So I think there's definitely a role for Zubair Hamza.
Yeah,
if
a lot of
the think tankers look at him.
Yeah, a lot of people don't actually know how good he is at white ball cricket. I mean, last season in the Momentum One Day Cup, he was phenomenal. He scored a lot of centuries. He was a bit upset. I've spoken to him about it before, what he thought about the MSL, and he really did want. He was really crushed when he didn't get a contract in the first season of the Mzansi Super League, as well as in the second. But I think he can push for that. I mean, it's that T20 challenge that he needs to step up and maybe show his capabilities. Can you maybe pick one or two players that you would like to see? You obviously did that piece on our website, clickfanatsmag.com. You did a piece on some guys that in the MSL and who did really well. So you can maybe draw from there.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna start with 2 picks. So I'll pick one Protea, and then I'm gonna pick one left field. I'll go with one left field pick. So, looking at how Kings 11 Punjab went about, they have a great opening pair, but what they're lacking is a good player coming in at 1 down. So I would naturally lean towards Rasif van der Dissen to take up that role. So that's one. And then if I were to go left field, I would say Grant Rulofsson definitely has what it takes to succeed in the IPL. I mean, considering it was his first franchise season and he did so well, I think he definitely has the talent, and I'd look forward to maybe RCB recruiting him. I think it could be a good fit.
Yeah. So Ben, we have a comment in the comment section because they heard you speak and they were like, "Yeah, you sound South African."
Yeah, I'm from South Africa and I'm from the Paul. I'm in Paul.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Can you just give some of the fans a little bit of a background? The reason why you moved over? Did you move over to Canada? What age and the reasons?
Yes,
behind that?
I was born in Canada. My father was a rugby coach there. So then we moved to Pretoria when I was about 3 years old, and then we stayed in Namibia for 9 years, and I'm now 3 years back in Paul. Playing in Belgium, and yeah.
Awesome. So you played for the under 19, the Canada under 19 team in the World Cup.
Yes, I did.
Okay,
I
awesome.
played actually against South Africa.
Yeah, that's why I want to ask you, because there are some guys in that team that people talk about a lot. I want to ask you, maybe, if you've been keeping an eye out on South African talent, who do you think could get an IPL contract in the future? Maybe who do you think that has the capabilities?
2 guys from the under 19 that really stood out was Gerald Coetzee, but he also played in the Mzansi with his pace. And then batting wise, I think Jonathan Bird, and with his part-time Chinaman leggies, he could also be a valuable tool in the bowling in the middle of the T20s. Yeah,
100%. I mean, can you maybe give some insight as a player? Obviously, you playing cricket at a high level. What is key about T20 cricket that's different to other formats of the game?
T20 cricket is about having as less thoughts as possible. So rotating the stride is key, and then obviously having your boundary option to go to. And I think that's the most important batting wise.
Okay, awesome. Gagandeep, anybody that you want to pick out, or maybe someone that you've seen?
I'll go with the all-rounder, Philip Piau, the South African. I'm very bad with names, sorry.
Oh, Peklequayo?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool, awesome. Yeah. What is it about Peklequayo that you like, or that you see as valuable?
Obviously, I prefer him playing as an all-rounder, but obviously he's more kind of a bowler than a batsman. Yeah, so I think he'll be a good pick for Chennai because they tend to go with people who can bat down the order. If you look at their batting strength, they have Jadeja, they have who can ball and bat as well. So that's the main reason, and they have Bravo who can also ball and bat. Yeah.
And from your perspective, the T20 game, what sort of qualities do you need to actually be successful in the T20 game?
T20 is all about keeping your cool, going ball to ball, married, and when required, you can have your one person who's striking the ball really well to have a go at it. Main thing is to keep wickets in hand as much as you can, and as well as maintain the run rate. If you're setting the target, then you have a free hand. If you're chasing, then run rate plays a key role.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a lot of insight that we got here from actually cricketers here. Like we need that more on the show where we can get that that type of insight into it. So are you, from your perspective, Abba, is there anything that you want to ask the guests before we hang up?
Yeah, let me start with Ben. So far, it looks like you're backing Rajasthan. If you're not, who are you backing, and what do you think of the IPL so far?
I'm backing Mumbai. No. I only wear the shirt for the show because it was IPL show. No, but I'm a Mumbai fan. I like Quinton de Kock up front with Rohit. I think that's a deadly combo up front. And then obviously with Bumrah and Trent at the back with the bowling, I think there's no, except for KG and Andrich, there's no better pace bowlers than them in the IPL so far.
We got a request for you in the comments, Ben. Bashir Walters, you might know him, of course, plays for the Warriors. He says, organize a gig there in Canada for you.
No.
Yeah. Okay,
I've got one other question for Ben. Out of the current Proteas, the senior squad, pick another 3 nominees whom you think could be good in the IPL for the first time.
Definitely Rasif van der Dussen. I think with his experience, even in the Global T20 in Canada, he did really well. I think Andile Petloquaya with his slower balls and these variations, he could be good at the back end, and he's done well. Even with his batting at the end, he's innovative with his reverse sweeps and those type of shots. And then I think Janeman Malan could also be good. Strong boy, hitting the ball really hard. So yeah, not a strong boy, but strong man. Sorry.
No, it depends how you see it.
Yeah.
I think. Abba, anything for Gagandeep before we leave?
Yeah, Gagandeep, tell us about your experiences playing for Kenya. I don't think we got into that so far. Yeah.
Well, the experience has been tough, as you know, that Kenya has been going downgrade, but we are really pushing hard. So it's not easy, when you playing up there and you have standards to set for youngsters who are coming in. So basically, we're losing a lot of talent because we lost one-day status, and people are preferring to go out and study and play for other countries. So that's a big challenge, and I think the board is working on how to bring back talent, because most of the players like Tanmay Mishra left national team because he wanted to go play in India, and you've seen what he's done. He's played IPL and he's currently playing Ranji, so things are going great for talented cricketers outside Kenya.
What do you think, from your perspective, do you think can change to improve cricket in Kenya and to grow the game there?
Cricket in Kenya just needs a bigger competition. The way competition was back in 90s, because there were Indian players who were coming to play as professionals, current Indian players coming to play as professionals as well. So the leagues were very tough compared to nowadays. The leagues are like, it's Sunday to Sunday, so you just wake up and go to the field and give your 50%, 90%. And if you're in the team, you don't need to worry about selection, because you'll obviously end up playing no matter what happens, because there's no rare talent coming through. basically there's no replacement.
Okay, cool, awesome.
Yeah.
So, guys, thanks a lot for coming on the show. I really enjoyed talking to you. Come on again in the future. We're going to have so many other shows where we can. It's not just going to be about IPL. We'll have podcast shows as well on the Sunday evening. So, if you ever want to come on the show again, just have a talk to or call a by and have a chat with him and ask him, and we'll get you back on. Thanks a lot for tuning in, guys.
Thanks a lot
Thank you
for
very
coming.
much.
Take care.
Check you guys.
Thanks. See you.
Bye.
Cheers.
So, guys, anybody else out there that wants to come onto the show, just the link is in the description. You can click the link and you can come on whenever you want to. I think we're going to just continue with our conversation. A lot of awesome names mentioned over there. A lot of awesome names mentioned, especially Rassi van der Dis. And I was very surprised that Rassi didn't get an opportunity at this particular draft. Like, he didn't get an opportunity to play for any of the teams. Like, that was a shock for me because obviously MSL Player of the Year a couple of seasons ago, one of the best current white ball cricketers in South Africa with regards to the Proteas. Another one that was kind of dubbed for me was a snub. Sorry, a snub for me. A snub for me. I was watching too much anime. Snub for me. There was one of the major snubs for me was also Heinrich Klaassen, who was selected in a previous tournaments, but never really got a full run out. And in Indian conditions, I think that he'll prosper because he's very good against spin. So I was surprised that he didn't get picked up.
Well, let me add this. As far as Klaassen and Van der Dissen are concerned, it's the IPL's loss. It's not their loss.
DJ, do you think that's true? Do you think that's a massive loss?
I think the IPL would benefit from the class that Klaassen and Van Dusen would bring. It's a pity that they hadn't been on the radar of any of the franchises. But then, seeing the current composition of all the teams, I don't know where they'd fit in either. It's hard to say. Like, for example, I think sometimes, given the fact that we have a mega auction coming up next year, perhaps it may be a blessing in disguise because we have Kings 11 Punjab that is notorious for chopping and changing a lot. I think over the last 4 years they've had David Miller, Glenn Maxwell, Ravichandran Ashwin, Murli Vijay, and now KL Rahul is captain. 5 years they've had 5 captains. So clearly it's not, and they've had similar turnover with coaches as well. So it's not like they've had a very organized sort of infrastructure, and they haven't had continuity, so that's been one of the problems that has been plaguing Kings 11, and I'd say the same with RCB as well. They've been chopping and changing a lot, and sometimes I think players don't perform to the best of their abilities when they're in that sort of environment because they're always sort of worried about their place in the side, and if you're an overseas player, there's that added pressure on you because you're competing only for 4 spots. So I don't know. I mean, hopefully, I guess after CSK has a major revamp in the next 1 or 2 years, I'm sure we'll see more South Africans coming in. And I think CSK is a better platform for some of these South Africans to sort of grow into their roles and become better cricketers because they give you that time to grow, and they give you that selection security, which is so important.
Okay, yeah. So before you say something, I just want to get one caller on and let him have him say. Then we can go back to your comment.
No problem at all.
We've got Ashwani waiting for us. So how's it, Ashwani? How are you doing, bro? What do you have to say? What would you like to say on the chat?
Yeah, I saw the South African pace attack, KG and Nokia. They are, I think, one of the best. I watched it. And one point I talked to that, if South African team included Nokia, Rabada, Gerald Coetzee, and Ngidi, I think it should be one of the best pace attacks in the world.
Sure.
So
now that's interesting because I want to actually ask you, do you think that South Africa can fit all 3 of them in, especially when we're playing a T20 World Cup in India? Because obviously about the second spinner.
Yes, I can say that there is no substitute for pace.
Okay,
I think they can include it. And I saw one another player from South Africa, that Johnson twins. I think Dwan Johnson. I think
Yeah,
he's also good talent. I
yeah.
saw him for South Africa against India.
Marco and Dwan Janssen, they're twins. Yes, yeah. They're
Yes,
both
yes.
all rounders.
That left armor, tall left arm.
It's funny.
Marco?
They both Marco and Dwan. They identical
Oh,
twins. Yeah, they identical twins. They bowl the same arm.
uh,
They bat the
like
same way.
yeah, like Overton brothers from England and Marshall brothers from New Zealand.
Yeah, it's very funny because the only difference between the two of them is their personalities. Like the one is very
Yes,
outspoken and the
yes,
other
yes.
one's very shy. Yeah. So what I wanted to ask you
Yeah, yeah.
I wanna ask you one more question before we say bye to you is if there was a situation and we could only pick two seamers, obviously
Okay.
besides the all rounder now, and we have obviously Andrich Nokia, we've got Dale Steyn, we've got Lungi Ngidi and Kagiso Rabada. Out of those four, which two would you pick if we're going to play with two spinners in the side?
I think that Delhi Capitals, two of them, KG and Nokia, they are both are
Okay.
brilliant.
Okay, awesome. Thanks a lot for calling in. I hope you can call in the next show. We have another
Thank
caller waiting, so thanks a lot for tuning in. Cool.
All right.
Bye. Just say something before we bring on
Yeah,
the next
so
caller.
Yeah, so I wanted to add one quick side note. So regarding the next year's mega auction, I've heard rumors that it may or may not happen, like because of what the COVID-19 pandemic has done. But then again, I'm not completely sure. And one more thing, I discussed two players earlier whom I wanted to see. I think we need to groom a couple of good spinners to replace Imran Tahir. I mean, he's already 41, and as good as he is, I think we need to get a couple more people in line. So I think Bjorn Fortuyn, the IPL would be a fantastic experience for him. I know Tabriz Shamsi played. I'd love to see him back again. If I were to think of one more wrist spinner, I would say Dylan Matthews of the Warriors. Even though it's still very early days for him, I would maybe in a couple of years, I think he would be good enough.
So there we go, Jordan. Now he's answered your question. He thinks that Dylan Matthews is someone that we should look at, and obviously
I'm good
we
at
want to
reading
see.
minds. I'm just saying, I'm good at reading minds.
So let's bring on the next caller, Anurag. Welcome to the show, bro. Based on what Abai said, who are some of the spinners maybe that you think that South Africa can groom to replace, like the likes of Imran Tahir?
Yeah, so Abhay brought up a good point, saying Imran is actually 41 and he needs to be replaced by a youngster. So I think Maharaj could actually make the cut in the T20 side because look at his left arm guile and he is actually effective on Indian pitches. Let alone the last Test match series where he was not that effective, but I think in the limited overs the batsman will try to take him on and he probably will get those wickets.
Yeah,
You make an
Maharaj is
excellent point there. Yeah.
Yeah, because Maharaj was selected as the white ball captain for the Dolphins at the moment. So, like, obviously, he's going to be taking that mantle and trying to push. I did an interview with him a couple of like last season sometime. I think it was the One Day Cup match between the Dolphins and Cobras. It is in the exclusive category on our site. He spoke about that he wants to be an all format player. He doesn't just want to be known as a test player.
And as a matter of fact, I think, he got picked for the ODI series against Australia. So I think that could be a sign of better things to come as far as him becoming an all-format player for South Africa is concerned.
Yeah, of course. But we can also see that the likes of Tabriz Shamsi, the likes of Bjorn Fortuyn, those guys are also being seen. Aditya, do you want to add on that? And maybe if you have any question for the call as well?
Yeah, we talked about Keshav Maharaj in one of our previous conversations about him being a part of South Africa's T20 side for the World Cup because he's that one bowler who I think would be effective in dewy conditions when the ball isn't going to turn as much and it's going to be wicket to wicket bowling that really works in creating and sustaining that pressure. So I think he would be a useful addition to the South African team, and it would be good to see how he goes as captain of the Dolphins as well, because in the test arena, they're trying to figure out who the next captain is going to be, and maybe he has the credentials and experience to do it.
Do you have any question for the caller over there?
What do you think about the top four in the IPL this time? Do you think it's going to be different compared to what it might have been had the IPL been in India?
So, looking at the trend, you see the senior teams have always tried to pull up their socks and somehow have managed to qualify. Like senior teams like CSK and Mumbai Indians, even though they were losing in the initial phase of the tournament, they somehow managed to climb up the top four rankings. I see again CSK and Mumbai to qualify again, but the surprise package could be DC and the other team. What is that? I think Rajasthan can do that as well.
Have you been impressed with Anir Nokia? How impressed have you been with him?
So when you see him pairing up with Kagiso Rabada, I think they're really sharing that wealth of experience together because these are alien conditions for Nokia as well. But you see him bowling in tandem with Rabada. I think that he's doing really well.
So thanks a lot for coming on the show. I really love your insights. So I'm coming on again. I mean, we have a Sunday podcast as well. I would like to hear your thoughts over there too. See you again soon. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much, Khalid. Bye, guys.
No problem. See you, man. Okay, guys. Let's get into more in depth into some of the players. They are specific. Is the Wi-Fi frozen again? Yes. So America, and they don't have proper Wi-Fi here. Oh, yeah, he's walking outside. You're supposed to have Wi-Fi everywhere. There's supposed to be a Wi-Fi tower in the tree. As apparently, that's what I heard.
I don't know. I guess it's just my phone. I don't know. You know what? Back on now. I think it's more stable connection right now. Yeah.
Yeah, no, much better. I want to mention a few guys that were not mentioned. Guys that I really think should be looked at. Someone like Marco Mare. I think he was phenomenal for the Giants. And also a guy like Vian Lubber, who adds a spin option as well as he can bat, and he's a big hitter, and you could see how he played for the Durban Heat. I'm very surprised that he hasn't been in and around the South African squads. I think he's a phenomenal batsman, phenomenal player, and he has a lot of insights into the game as well. And now I'm hoping that with his move over to the Warriors,
Yeah, I
that he can
remember
really take the
interviewing
game to
him
the next
for
level.
Cricket Fanatics magazine.
Yeah. Obviously, he's now moved to the Warriors, and we're hoping that he can obviously take his game to the next level over there. Another guy that
I'm
I
feeling
think
it could be a
is
start of something very good for him.
yeah, of course. It's an opportunity for him to actually. I actually see him as a future captain. That's how I see him for the Warriors side. When John Smuts decides to not be captain anymore and wants to pass on the responsibility, I could see someone like Vian take that position. He just has the right mindset and his relationship with the players as well. Yeah, he gets he gets along very well with the younger players. There was a lot of chatter about him training with Marco Jansen in the preseason, etc., and a lot of jokes going on between the two of them. So it was quite awesome to see. Another guy is George Linder. I'm surprised that he's also not been thrown in the hat more often when it comes to the shorter formats. I think he was himself. When we have an interview actually in the latest issue of the magazine, you guys can go read it. When I speak about George as a 4-day cricketer, and the link is on the screen and in the description for you guys to download the mag and subscribe to the magazine. It's quite interesting because he was always seen as a white ball specialist in South African cricket more often. He was more picked in the shorter formats for the Cobras initially. But as he improved his game, he actually became more of a 4-day cricketer. And in that article that I wrote about him, he explains that and how he's always wanted to become a Test cricketer. So it's funny that he actually got his first debut for South Africa is actually in Test cricket. It's quite
know,
interesting,
right?
actually. Yeah. So we've got Ashwani that came back again. He wants to ask a question. Let him come back on again. How's it, bro?
Hello, Khalid. First of all, forgive me, my English is not so good, but I try
That's
my
fine.
best.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
No problem.
Yeah.
Mine is also not that good.
I want to say that one question always put in my mind that what about that callback players? What is the future of callback players in South Africa?
Yeah, I can address this question. So now that Brexit has happened, all the callback registrations have been cancelled. So either if they're going to play county cricket, they will have to play as overseas professionals, And if not, then they're probably going to come back to South Africa, or they could become T20 freelancers. It's pretty much up to them at this point in time.
Will they available for national selections like Riley Russo, Colin Ingram, David Bettingham, and Dave Villas?
There should be, yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, then I think South African team can become more strong.
Yeah, well, I can give you some insight into that. So, with regards to Louis Deploy, we interviewed Louis on the show. I spoke to him about that, whether he'd ever want to come back to South Africa. And he said that if the chance comes for him to be able to represent South Africa one day, he'll take it with open arms. It's whoever offers him the opportunity first, obviously, whether it's England or it's obviously whether it's South Africa. But obviously now with the Brexit happening, it's a player like him that I would really like to see in our system because of the experience that he has over there. Riley Rousseau as well. I haven't had an opportunity to speak to Riley, and I really need to get onto that and to have a conversation with him to ask him where he's at. There's another boy called Michael Cohen who's a left-arm seamer.
Left-arm seamer,
yeah, and I'm sure that I'm going to have a conversation with him sometime and ask him as well what he thinks about what Brexit happening and get a better understanding of that. So I'll bring you guys some news on that in the near future.
Yeah, one more question. Wayne Parnell, I think he qualified for England.
Wait, is Wayne Parnell qualified for England? I don't believe he is because he signed a co-pack deal with Worcestershire. So yeah, I think he's going to probably play as an overseas player in county cricket.
Yeah,
he doesn't have a British passport.
One last question is that why South African cricket don't follow rugby model that their rugby team. I want to say that their best players play overseas leagues, and when the national team requires, they take them. Why not South African cricket do it take?
It's a good point
for them.
It's a good point as well. And I don't think it is South Africa's choice to do that. So I think the ECB have put that in place to sign Colpack players because they want people to sign that agreement so that there can be an extra player in the side. I don't think it's South Africa's decision to say, look here, we're going to sign, you must create Colpack deals, etc., etc. So England have put it in the Colpack clause that you can't play for your country if you sign a Colpack deal. So
right.
Yes.
It won't be even if South Africa say tomorrow, yes, okay, cool, let's invite Colpack players to play for South Africa. I don't think the ECB would allow it. That's the problem.
Okay.
It's kind of a binding contract. I mean, as a matter of fact, I think freedom of movement is a fantastic thing. Every time you get a chance to play overseas, I think that's a priceless opportunity to up your game. But at the same time, it's kind of a catch-22 for these players because they have to decide between longevity versus another shot at international cricket, and it can be a very difficult decision at times.
A very difficult decision. There's such a fine line between being picked as an overseas and being picked as a Colpack. You see, with your Colpack player, you can play as an England international basically for that team. So you don't count. You see, so you can have. It just gives you that competitive advantage basically for the county cricket teams.
Yeah, if I want to say that if Colpack players available for South Africa, then South Africa becomes very, very dangerous side. You see Riley Rousseau's, Colin Ingram's, and that Sky Labbert, and that guy, I don't remember his name, who taken, I think, 14 wickets against Pakistan.
Duane Olivier?
Duane Olivier. They become just world number one side again if Colpack players join them.
See, I tend to disagree with that one. So I watch those players come back to South Africa and see how they perform over here. There's a misconception about the talent in South Africa. I feel that if you heard a guy like Owen Morgan, when he was in the press conference, I asked him what he thinks about we asked him, the media asked him, what does he think of the standard of the Mzansi Super League when he came down here? And he said that it rivals all the top T20 competitions in the world. The competition here in South Africa is actually very high. The standard is very high. The problem with South African cricket is I don't feel that we dropped from number one because of the quality of cricketers that we have in the country. I think that when I had an interview with Michael Holding, he specifically told me when I asked him, what is happening? Why are we dropping? why is the standard of cricket dropping in South Africa? So he told me that it's because it's like a cycle in every single country and every single top team. They go through a cycle in their cricket. At the moment, what's happened in South African cricket, which a lot of people don't actually put emphasis on, is that the older guys like Amla and Dale Steyn and Abe de Villiers and all those guys have retired from the game for the international side. Okay, AB might come back in T20 cricket now again and come back from retirement, but a lot of them have retired from cricket, from international cricket, as well as the guy like Faf du Plessis is looking to retire. Maybe he's going to still play T20 cricket. We're not so sure if he's going to still play Test cricket. But a lot of the big guys, Jacques Kallis, and when you have guys like Jacques Kallis, Herschel Gibbs, Graham Smith, Mackay Ntini, so many other big names that have played for years for South Africa. They've been the cog of that side for 10 years or more. And you lose them, it's very difficult to replace them immediately. So now South Africa's in a situation where we've lost all of our experienced players. We've lost all of our experienced players, but not only have we lost them in international level, we've lost them at domestic level as well. So the experienced players like Andrew Birch and the guys like Rory Kleinveld, Vernon Philander, they've all retired from franchise cricket. So our younger players don't look around the dressing room and see like guys with 100 caps to their name, or they're looking around and they're seeing guys that are on the same level of them play the same amount of caps. So like, who do you learn from? You have to draw your inspiration from the coaches, and that's why it's so pivotal that we have top quality coaches that have experience in cricket to lead these youngsters forward. Because if you don't have that, that's the only reason why I would say Mark Boucher should be coach of South Africa, is because the test experience that they will be getting will be from Mark Boucher. Now, I obviously have a different opinion. I feel that he could have done that as an assistant role to Enoch. I think that roles could be switched. You don't necessarily have to be the head coach to give your test experience. You can be a consultant and give your knowledge on test cricket. But that's why it's so important that we have our legends in the game that give back to the cricket, because otherwise our youngsters won't learn.
Yeah, we know for our cricket, junior cricket is the most important. We can say that for India, India hired Rahul Dravid as under-19 coach. Now his assistant Paras Mahamre, look after the team. So one more question is that from past few years, I noticed that South African teams junior cricket is declining. I see their past results in under-19 World Cup. They are not that great. So my question is, why not South Africa hires great players like Amla, even Mackenzie or Callis for their head coach?
Okay, so what has happened in South African cricket is very interesting. So what they've done now is they've transformed the whole bottom standard of it. So our whole structure has changed. They've got something called a batting. Let me just get the word right. It's almost like a batting consultant that will, like Neil Mackenzie, who helps out with
like a mentor.
It's almost like a mentor in a way, yes. But there's a specific name. I can't remember what the name is now. But what he does is they'll call on him when they need him for specific series. For example, if the domestic team needs him to improve their cricket, then he'll go in and help out. If the women's team needs him, he'll go help out. If the SAA team needs him, they'll help out. Besides the batting consultant of the Proteas team. So if Jacques Kallis,
is it interim consultant? Was that the word you're looking for?
Interim. It's just, there's another word for it, man. I can't remember now. It doesn't matter. But it's basically like a mentor. So he gets called on when needed. So the Proteas setup will have their head coach, their bowling coach, their assistant coach, their fielding coach, right? And then besides that, they'll have Neil Mackenzie there to help out if needed. So you can be called upon for anybody in the country, for if a franchise needs him, if the S-19 needs him. Now, a very interesting thing happened with the S-19 team as well. Lawrence Matlana is not there anymore, and Shukri Conrad is now the under-19 coach. And he's head of the whole academy with regards to that. That's a massive move that they've made there, because if you talk to a lot of what I think is the problem with South African cricketers is not the younger cricketers, is not the technical side. You can see they have the ability. You can see they have the talent. It's the mental side of the game. And Shukri is the person that can really change it. I don't know if I'm going to eat my words down the line. You never know, but I'm fully back his appointment as in that position.
Yeah, where is that guy I saw in under 19 World Cup in New Zealand? He looks very impressive. Vandelu Makwetu. I think he should be the future of South African middle order batting. I
Yeah,
saw his
he's
temperament is very solid.
he's currently the captain of the night side. So
Okay.
he's taking his cricket to the next level. He wasn't having a great career at the Titans. Things were going a little bit south for him. He wasn't really getting the opportunities he wanted. But now at the Knights,
He
they've
looks very
made him.
promising. He looks very promising. Very promising.
Yeah, he is very promising. Thanks a lot, Ashwani, for coming on again. Come on the next show. Get involved in the comments. Get people to tell people to share this video. Click subscribe. Oh, I know you subscribed
Thank you
already,
very
but
much.
click like.
Thank you very
etc.
much
Thanks a lot.
for.
No problem, man.
Take care. Have a good night. Yep.
Yeah, Bhai wants to be presenter here, young. Yes. Aditya, I rambled here, and you always sit there quietly listening. Did I talk a lot of rubbish there, or did I talk some sense?
No, it was good, man. I heard names that I haven't heard a lot before. So, yeah, I was happy to listen.
Yeah, I know. South Africa, I'm not going to stop talking about it. We're going to obviously have more shows down the line. Obviously, our Sunday podcast specifically is where we really just let down our hair, or if we had hair to let down, and we'll have a little good conversation about all of these things and have an open platform to be able to do that. That's so important.
In fact, on Instagram, I've said to Herschel Gibbs, a number of times that he should be a bit more like. I would love to see him, as a batting consultant or as head coach of one of the leagues.
Yeah.
And he seems pretty interested. He wants to do it, but.
Well, you can tell Herschel Gibbs, because I've messaged him before to ask him to come on the show. You can tell Herschel Gibbs that he must. Tell Herschel Gibbs he must come onto the show and have a conversation with us. So, bye. Closing statements.
First of all, those of you that haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and also go online and subscribe to the monthly magazine. We launched our 4th issue earlier this week, so please have a read. I did an interview, and I've done a crossword puzzle too. Hope you like it. And this one for Khalid. Thanks a lot for giving some random guy from America a chance to write for such a great site. I think, it's been a great road so far, and I'm looking forward to more. Yeah,
it's gonna grow. It's gonna grow. And thank you for giving your time up and actually writing for us and doing those things. We can have more conversation about how we're gonna do it forward. Thanks.
I'm gonna say one last thing. I think I should say it in Afrikaans. So, as far as the fourth issue is concerned, I would say baie goeie werk. Did I say that right?
Yeah, baie goeie werk.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, man. We'll chat to you again. Obviously, we'll see if we can maybe call you on the Sunday podcast. Aditya, any closing statements from your side?
Thank you, and have a good night.
Thank you, man.
Well, I think generally South African cricket has a lot to gain from the IPL, and I do hope that a lot of the franchises are looking at some of the players that have done well in the MSL or have even represented South Africa in international cricket. Because I think at this point it's important for sort of world cricket, for like the important and established teams in world cricket to sort of help each other. I think if India can take that sort of responsibility to help a lot of South African players grow, I think it's good for world cricket in general, and we should be happy about doing it. So I'd love to see Aiden Markram become a greater player than he is.
See, this is why I need you on the show. I remember now what it's called. It's batting lead. That's what it's called. So they have a S19 lead and batting lead. They've just named it differently so that they can separate the two roles. Because when we have a batting consultant and when we have a bowling consultant for the national sides, each team will obviously have their own. So you'll obviously have the domestic sides will have their own team of coaches. Obviously, the women's side will have their own team of coaches. The under-19 side will have their own team of coaches. And then they'll have a batting lead, under-19 lead, high-performance lead, etc., to help out when need be for any team across the country. So Neil McKenzie forms part of the batting lead in the country to go help out wherever we need it, which is an awesome move, because then
very good.
If they ever need extra assistance, or they can just call him up and say, cool, come along here. You can go work with the guys in our nets, and you have a top quality batsman that can go help some guys in the nets during overs, during during breaks, etc., while the other batting coach is actually watching the game with the coaches to strategize going forward. So I think it's actually also a move. Thanks a lot, Aditya, for coming on the show.
Thank you, man.
We'll obviously chat again with a quick summary on Sunday evening.
Sure. All
Cool,
right,
man.
cheers, man.
See you, man. So thanks a lot, guys, for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the show. As you heard, Abai said it in his American accent. It sounds so eloquent over there. So, like, guys, subscribe, please, and click the notification bell for all future videos. Also, don't forget to obviously like and share and do all those things too, because we need to get our videos into other people's streams. So if you like the video, it will get into recommended feeds on YouTube. If you share this, it obviously grows the channel. It will grow our content. It will put us into more people's recommended feeds as well. We need to get to the 1,000 mark. We're so close. So tell all your family, all your friends who are interested in cricket to join the show and join the family, as well as tell them to come and call in on the show. We're opening up the lines to everybody. As you see tonight, we had a different variety of people that called in onto the show. So you guys can have another opportunity on Sunday evening to call into our podcast show. That is a very more laid back. It's less about stats. It's just about us just having a chat and having some fun, and giving cricketers obviously also opportunity to come on the show and come interact with the fans. So, guys, that's all I have for you today. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to obviously like, comment, share, subscribe, as I said already. And also don't forget to download the latest issue of the magazine. Link is on the screen. Link is in the description. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. Take care.